Now, whenever I'm working in Logic Pro, I always have a template. I make sure I've got certain plugins in certain places to make it easy for me to mix and to actually get the sound I want. And I know my plugins. So, for example, right here, you'll see in Logic Pro, I have a stereo out. Now here from the stereo out, I want to put some effects on the top, and this is all based on the kind of music that I'm actually mixing. So in this case, it's like a hip hop mix. And so here on the very top end, I've got this plugin, the BRAINWORX EQ, and this is the BX Digital. And the V3 down here signifies VST3. Now I got this from Plugin Alliance for a very good price, and it's really good. So what happens here and what I do here in the beginning here is I make sure that I have the high pass filter here set up here with just about 12 here. Let me go down and turn it off somewhat. This is off. You see that line is straight there? Now as I add this high pass filter in, it's creating this thing on the bottom right here. This little curve here. Nothing below 20 hertz pass I'm not really worried about. I also want to turn it on, so it's turned on actually right there. And then once I come to there, I'll be here and I want to get down to the mono maker. Now the mono maker allows me to keep the nice low end. So if the kick drum and the bass drum are down there, I want to make sure I get that kind of nice bottomy feel to it. And rather, they won't be stereo, it'll be the mono. So I come down, usually I keep it around 50. 150 is good. Sometimes I'll do about 155, I'd say. So I'm going to put this in here. Perfect. And I'll be right there too, that's always well. So I'll play it back. And my bass and bottom is centered. You see, pre-EQ, post. It's giving that bottom a real nice touch, keeping it centered. Now next, I'm going to come up here. I've got another thing I use here. It's another EQ, and this is the UAD HTSVILLE EQ. And this is the HTSVILLE Mastering EQ. So this goes on my stereo out track here. And so I'm going to make sure I get that particular sound. Now, as you can see, a lot of buttons here, but it's pretty simple. Here are hertz, right? That's 25 hertz. So you can see right here, we're sort of cutting them off, just down to that point. We're trying to add them. This is the bottom, 25 hertz right there. Simple enough, right? And it's a dip, right? It's a dip, not peaking out. Got it. And so here, this is 65 hertz. And you see that there? It's up by 5 here. Peak. Next we have 160 and 400, 1000, which is 1K, 2.5K, 6.25K, and that's what I have here for my EQ, these 7 different knobs here and switches. Now here at this end here, this is frequency for normal, this is for half speed. So I'll play it back. I'm going to add this in now. I've added so much to the mix. You hear much more clearly what's going on with the drums and the guitar and the higher ends. And the bass still remain in that mono area, which is kind of cool. Now if I go to here, it's a half speed now. And so we get a little more wider mix going on here. Pushing the sides out a little more. And there we go, the other side of it. And you can hear the difference. I get more of that real sound of the EQ in there, and more of a pump to it. Now this setting I call is the Boom Bap Master EQ. It gives me a nice boom bap feel with this setting. Now next, in my system here, I've got a compressor. Gotta have a compressor. And I've added some glue to this compressor, right? So it's gonna glue my mix in. And so you always wanna have the EQ, then the compressor. Let's hear this without the compressor. Now I'll play it with the compressor. Let's turn this thing on right over here. It's gluing the mix a little bit, just getting it tighter. Not so heavy. Let me turn it off. You hear two different sounds. Let's turn it on. Just tightens it up. Turn that off. So this is set to like a 4:1 ratio here. My tach is about 30 milliseconds, but we have this auto release, so it's automatically releasing whenever it has to. It's too much pressure. And then here we have a threshold level. This is 0, so that's maybe like about, we'll say about 7.5, since the bottom here is plus 15. And our makeup gain's right here. So it gives this really nice feel to it. It makes it really tight, but not squashing it. Now next, let's turn it on. Oh, it is on. Let's turn it back to here. Let's turn this one on. This is the tape. So almost darkened it out like. This is tape. And this is the ATR 102. Now I prefer to use this inside the mix to give me an idea of what it sounds like when I'm using tape. Now, years ago, we used to use tape in a recording studio to actually use it for the master. Send it to the mastering house, we send a tape, it would be the mix that the artist liked, we send it to them. Now here in this case, I'm using this to give it that kind of like tape warmth and color to it, where it has that feel, that sound like though it's from a tape. That's really great, because I can change speeds here too. Let's go to here. It's dark, it's how slow the tape's moving. That is 7.5 inches per second. Up to here, 15 inches per second. Up to here, 30. You hear the difference. It's right in front of your face. I prefer this for this music. It gives me everything I need that I want to have right there. And this is 456 tape we're using. This tape is 1/4 inch. We're hearing it back from the repro head. The head, it's right here. It's playing it back from there. Okay. Now the last thing I want to add here on the system is I'm going to add this right here, which is the Ozone Imager. And this is Ozone Imager 2. This allows me to widen the mix up. And as you can see here, it's a width right here, right? I'm going for 55% of this as the width. I'll turn this on. Now I will apply the imager. And you can hear it's a little bit more louder. But no, it's mostly wider. Turn it off. You hear the difference now. When I spread it out, it's wider. It feels good in the mix. Stop that. Now you also want to notice here, we have a stereo output here. I want to make sure where I'm at. So to actually use this system like this, I want to go back and forth. I will turn it off. I'll swipe down to here. I turn all the plugins off. I'll listen back to the mix. Check all my levels. Where everything's positioned at. Do I need to fix something? Make sure my EQs are proper. I'll listen back to the mix that way. And I will come back in again, I'll come to here. Am I getting a true feel of what I want to have happen? like the way that sounds. Now, one thing cool about using this is that I can also use the mastering, which is right here. If I like something, I can come to here inside of the system, which is Logic Pro. They have a mastering and a mastering agent that'll analyze my overall mix and give me an idea of how good it sounds or how bad it sounds or what's going on. And that's what I really like about Logic, the ability to use the mastering assistant and to also do the mix at the same time, listen to how it sounds as though it was a master and get a much better perspective about where you're going with the mix, because you do start out with almost nothing and you add so much, you want to make sure what you're adding is not hurting the mix, but giving you just what you need to get that right feel. Now, you might get in the ballpark somewhat. You may have to raise up some levels a little bit, bring them down. And the purpose of doing this right here helps me to understand, do I have to or not? So sometimes I would take this stereo out that's right here. I might go up a couple of these, maybe just like one or two of these little lines here. Or I'd go down to, and I'd have the one that I originally had. And then I would listen back to those, A-B them all straight through. Now, as you can see, I think this thing is almost done here. I think it is. Let's hear this back. Or you can hear the difference. Loudness compensation. I'm below 1.0. True peak. That's 0 right there. Always want to see and check. So that's what I normally do. Once I get that straight and I've got that happening, you know what I do? I start like, okay, great, we're ready to go now. Now all I really want to do at this point is I will save this setting as my setting for my stereo out. It'll remain that way. So when I have a session, I pull it in, I may add music to it, I'll A-B it back and forth to make sure I'm still within the area that I feel where I want to be with my mix. And that's how I use my template to help me get around.